The countdown begins. SKOL, Vikings Nation. We're less than a week from training camp at TCO Performance Center, and the Minnesota Vikings are gearing up for a season that could redefine the franchise. Rookies report on July 20th, veterans on July 22nd, and the 53-man roster is starting to take shape. These next few weeks will be a pressure cooker for the fringe players, guys who are one play away from glory or the practice squad. This is where the heart of the Vikings roster battles lies. We're talking about players like Lucky Jackson, Brian Asamoah, and Levi Drake Rodriguez who are fighting for their NFL lives. Each snap in camp could be the difference between wearing the purple and gold on game day or watching from the sidelines. So who's got the edge? Who's on the bubble? And which underdog might steal a spot? Let's dive into the first battle and see who's ready to step up for the Vikings in 2025. What do you think, fans? Drop your predictions in the comments. Lucky Jackson's last chance. Wide receiver Lucky Jackson is the ultimate underdog story for the Vikings. Signed in 2023 after a stint in the XFL, Jackson's been a practice squad hero, elevated multiple times but never locking down a permanent roster spot. Now, he's in the Tristan Jackson role. The fringe wide receiver fans are rooting for, but who needs a monster camp to make the cut. Jackson's got the tools. Speed, hands, and a knack for making plays. But with stars like Justin Jefferson and a deep receiver room, he's got to outshine guys like Jeshaun Jones to earn a spot. Last season, he showed flashes in limited action, but training camp is his proving ground. Can he turn heads with a big play in the preseason? Vikings fans, this is where you come in. Do you think Lucky Jackson has what it takes to crack the 53-man roster? Or is the WR room just too stacked? Let's hear your thoughts as we move to our next battle. Brian Asamoah's fight for relevance. Linebacker Brian Asamoah was once a shining star in the Vikings' 2022 draft class, forcing a fumble in a thrilling Christmas Eve win over the Giants as a rookie. But under Brian Flores' defensive scheme, his star has faded. Relegated to special teams the last 2 years, Asamoah is now fighting for his roster life with only 3 players left from his draft class. The Vikings' selection of Kobe King in the 6th round of the 2024 draft puts even more heat on Asamoah. King's versatility and instincts could push Asamoah out if he doesn't show up big in camp. Can he rediscover the playmaking spark that made him a standout at Oklahoma? Or is his time in Minnesota running out? What's your take, Vikings fans? Is Asamoah still a hidden gem? Or has his window closed? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's keep the SKOL spirit alive. Jay Ward's safety net. Safety Jay Ward is in a peculiar spot heading into his 3rd year with the Vikings. Last season, the team tried him at slot corner to patch up early camp injuries, but it was a rough fit. Still, Ward hung onto a roster spot as a depth player and special teams ace. With only 5 safeties on the roster, his spot seems secure, unless he completely flops in camp. Ward's versatility is his biggest asset. Brian Flores loves players who can adapt, and Ward's ability to contribute on special teams gives him an edge. But with a thin safety group, any misstep could open the door for a rookie or free agent to steal his spot. Will he lock in his role? Or is he just one bad camp away from the bubble? Vikings Nation, what's the vibe on Jay Ward? Is he a lock for the roster, or does he need to prove himself? Let's hear your hot takes in the comments. Levi Drake Rodriguez's high-energy hustle. Defensive tackle Levi Drake Rodriguez was a fan favorite the moment the Vikings picked him in the 7th round of the 2024 draft. Dubbed Prospect X by analyst Kalen Kaler, Rodriguez brings infectious energy and a relentless motor. The Vikings bulked him up last year, eyeing a shift to nose tackle, but the DT room is stacked, and his roster spot is anything but guaranteed. Rodriguez's high-energy style pairs perfectly with Brian Flores' aggressive defense, but he's competing against heavyweights like Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave. Can his hustle and heart win out in camp, or will the depth at DT push him to the practice squad? This is a battle to watch. Who's rooting for Rodriguez to make the roster? Drop a SKOL in the comments if you think this fan favorite can defy the odds. Jeshaun Jones, the UDFA gem. Wide receiver Jeshaun Jones was the highest paid undrafted free agent, UDFA, for the Vikings in 2024, and he's already turning heads in the off-season program. After spending most of last season on the practice squad, Jones is now 4 years removed from back-to-back ACL injuries, and his skill set screams Kevin O'Connell's offense. Quick, versatile, and reliable. The Vikings' receiver room is deep, but Jones has been standing out with his route running and hands. Could he be the surprise roster lock over veterans like Lucky Jackson? Training camp will be his chance to shine, especially in a scheme that loves creative playmakers. What do you think, Vikings fans? Is Jeshaun Jones the next UDFA to break out, or is the competition too fierce? Hit the comments with your predictions. The J.J. McCarthy factor. All eyes are on quarterback J.J. McCarthy as he steps into the starting role for the Vikings in 2025. The number 10 overall pick in 2024 is coming off a knee injury, but the team is all in on the 22-year-old, declining to sign a veteran backup. Training camp will give us our first extended look at McCarthy as the QB1. With an elite supporting cast like Justin Jefferson and a revamped defensive line, McCarthy's got the tools to succeed. But the pressure is on. Can he handle the spotlight and prove he's the franchise guy? Every throw in camp will be scrutinized, and Vikings fans are buzzing with anticipation. Who's hyped for J.J. McCarthy's debut? Drop your expectations for our QB1 in the comments, and let's get this SKOL party started. Christian Darrisaw's comeback. Left tackle Christian Darrisaw is quietly on track for a massive 2025 comeback after tearing his ACL last season. Just 9 months post-injury, he's already back on the field, and advanced analytics point to all-pro potential. Darrisaw's return is crucial for protecting McCarthy and anchoring a revamped offensive line. With newcomers like Donovan Jackson and Ryan Kelly bolstering the interior, the Vikings' O-line could be a strength. But if Darrisaw misses 2 to 4 games, as some project, can the line hold up? Training camp will show us how far Darrisaw's recovery has come. Vikings fans, how big is Darrisaw's return for this team? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments. SKOL. Isaiah Rodgers' breakout potential. Cornerback Isaiah Rodgers was the Vikings' first move in 2024 free agency, signing a 2-year, $11 million deal that flew under the radar. Recommended by defensive coordinator Brian Flores, Rodgers has the potential to be a breakout star in 2025, much like Andrew Van Ginkel's transformation last season. At 5 feet 10 inches and 170 pounds, Rodgers is built for the slot but has played mostly outside corner. Flores' scheme demands versatility, and Rodgers' speed and ball skills could make him a steal at his price tag. Will he lock down a starting role in camp, or is he destined for a depth role? Who's got Rodgers as their dark horse for 2025? Drop your predictions in the comments and let's see who's calling it early. The final push for the 53. As training camp kicks off, the Vikings roster battles are heating up, and every practice, every rep, every play could decide who makes the cut. From Lucky Jackson's fight for a receiver spot to Brian Asamoah's last stand at linebacker, these fringe players are the heartbeat of camp. Who's got the grit to wear the purple and gold in Week 1? The Vikings are coming off a 14-win season but a humbling playoff loss to the Rams. With big names like Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave in the trenches and J.J. McCarthy under center, this roster is stacked. But the bubble guys will make or break the depth. Training camp is where legacies begin. Vikings Nation, let's get loud. Who's your pick to steal a roster spot? Hit the comments, smash that like button, subscribe, and share this video with every Vikings fan you know. SKOL. Let's make 2025 the year of the Vikings.